I'm never like frustrated or annoyed. I love it. It's because it's great because, I try to remind myself anytime I see something that I might disagree with, the first thing I tell myself is the word yes. Like like all things are valid and whatever path they're on, even if it's this weird, cheesy, pseudo spiritual, materialistic path, new age guru, I'm like, you know what? They're living a valid path. And I'm just going to sit back with popcorn because sometimes, because they do have a lot of deep revelations, but they also have a very deep constructed identity. And it's that famous Alan Watts quote, uh, when thieves are in a building and the police come, the thieves run to the second floor. And when the police go to the second floor, the thieves run to the third floor, etc. It's the moment that the ego is being threatened, it identifies with the higher power. And that's the essence of many spiritual gurus, especially in the West, is they have genuinely uh, noticed and observed that there is some notion of a higher power, but then they've identified with that, and then they've seen that it's the most profitable thing there is. But I do not call them out for it because I know that they do have truth in their words, and I'll listen for that, and I have the discernment to know which of their words is spoken from the heart or from the ego, and I'm just there for what's from the heart, and I'll take those and move on and smile.
And that is a totally fair response. And I think at one point in my life, I would have agreed with you for sure. Out of curiosity, Liam, do you have kids?
Do I have kids?
Any?
Maybe more metaphorical,
Fair
but
enough.
not physical.
Okay. So one of the things that has admittedly changed how I react or how I respond to those who would put themselves above um, is my daughter, watching her grow up and watching as she developed a sense that there are people who would take advantage of her. She
Mm,
didn't know that for the longest time because it didn't never occur to her that that could be the case because she never felt inclined to do that because she grew up in a life where she didn't have a lot of pain or hardship or anything like that. So there was no defense mechanism that developed as a result. But because of that, she got blindsided by every manipulative friend that she ever made.
hmm
Right. And it's because of that more than anything that I tend to speak up when it comes to spiritual gurus or teachers. And it's not because the message is bad. Often the message is great. Often the insights are fantastic.
hmm
It's that it's coming from someone above. It's that it's coming from somebody who would convince you that they are above because of their insight, because of what they're sharing. That subconscious message that once you're wise enough, you can be me. That's that subtle poison that I find should be addressed more than anything, more than the insights themselves, because an insight can be super powerful, but if it's coming from somebody who has you looking up to them, it's immediately cut the efficacy in half. Right. So that's, I think, why I tend to speak up, not out of righteousness, not of anything else. It's kind of like when I leave a comment on a spiritual creator's post on TikTok. I'm not leaving it for them. I'm leaving it for anybody who might happen to run across that post. I'm leaving it for anybody who might be tempted to get sucked into this without giving it a second thought and then realize, oh, this person gave it a second thought. Maybe I can
Right.
too. Right. And I think that's the only reason, not so much to cause a beef, though admittedly, the friction that erupts from these conversations can also be quite educational and fun. But I think that, as we said in the last episode, it's through that discomfort of criticism and scrutiny that we grow together.